Today, we're talking about the latest dip in Helldivers 2 player numbers. GTA Online's latest update seems like a cash grab, and streamer and bigot NickMercs has temporarily kicked off Twitch. Find out why. Welcome, friends, to this week's episode of Good Playing With You, the weekly gaming podcast. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by our good playing good buddies, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matt Moulding.
Hey now.
We've got a packed show, but before we dive in, let's check in with my patriotic pack of Matts and find out what everyone's been playing this week. Lord?
Yeah, happy almost 4th of July, everyone. We're doing a little special episode.
Yeah.
Good times. Can't wait. I just tried to buy a barbecue. Major fail. Couldn't get it in the car. Had to do the walk shame back into Home Depot to return it. What a disaster.
Sorry, brother.
It was an embarrassing moment in my barbecue career, but we'll make it happen.
I can put you to work when you come over to my barbecue. When the two of you show up this weekend, we'll put you on the grill and you can make up for last time.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I've been kind of just like messing around with different games this week. I got Stardew Valley to work on that little Game Boy SP thing, which is really cool. So now I have Stardew on this little game on that Game Boy. It's so cool and it works really well. But really,
we need to do a special video just where you talk about your emulation.
I know.
We'll make that happen.
I do. We do need to make that happen. I would be so into that because I love it, and it's so cool. It was really easy to do. I was so surprised. And the emulation is pretty much all good. Like I had to legit buy the game. You put the files on there, so it's all like that's all legit. It's really a fun process. And then I was very inspired, so I started playing some Overwatch on the Steam Deck, and alongside Overwatch on the Steam Deck. Moulding, it's as strange as it sounds because
it sounds miserable. That sounds like a miserable thing to do.
I fired up all the buttons are all changed than what I had said. They wiped my bindings. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and kind of a disaster run, but gosh, the Steam Deck, guys, that is also another product that I would love. I could just talk anyone's ear off about that one. Good time. A lot of portable stuff. But that's it for me, boys. How about you guys?
Moulding?
Well, I'm obviously I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14, but I made a decision to go back to play it on the PlayStation. For two reasons. I was really sick of that profanity filter. It was really getting annoying, and I didn't want to have it anymore because I'm a grown man, and I want to see dirty words.
Yes, please.
Yes, please, all the dirty words. And then also with the update that happened with the Xbox, when you randomly, it would just crash. Then with the new update, with the new DLC, it just would crash. And right now, because the new expansion came out, it's like a 2,000 person wait list to get back in. So it took me 45 minutes to get into my server, and then it crashed on Xbox. And I was like, nope, nope, sorry, Xbox, you lost me for this.
You could have talked about that on the glitch episode.
I didn't have it until then. I didn't have it for the glitch. So I am officially back to PlayStation for it, but that is again another week of that is all I played. So it's time for me to branch out and play some new games again, I think. I hear you. But
are you still huge asshole on?
Yes, huge asshole. Yes. Is the guy I'm playing. I have, and my original character is LOL, so it's ELLEO''ELLE. She's the one that has everybody, or she has like lots of jobs that were at max, but I just decided to play through again from the very beginning of the story, and I'm enjoying it. I love it. It's super fun. Our friend Blake tried it, and I haven't talked to him since. I think he played about half an hour of it, and I don't think he's going to be picking it up again. But, if you like that sort of game, it's super fun. What about you, Dan? Where were you playing?
I finally beat Dave the Diver. Now I'm playing the Godzilla DLC, which is fine. And I don't know. I'm just bouncing around. I don't have like a still Immortals Vavium, that sort of stuff. I haven't had any sort of like super great games. I'm hoping to pick something up maybe over the weekend and fall in love. But hopefully we don't have the same problems on Xbox Live this weekend the way we did yesterday. Did you guys, were you experiencing the outage at all? Did you try to log in? Did you see the crazy?
Yes. The Xbox is how I do all my media. So Hulu, Amazon, YouTube, they're all through my Xbox. And I was like all excited, sitting down, getting ready to eat. And then it was like, nope, you don't get to watch TV while you eat. So I had to watch in silence, or I had to eat in silence.
Dang,
like the olden days.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the chatter going on Twitter. People were super pissed. I saw Xbox release that notification. They're like, okay, this is taking longer than expected. So what, it was finally resolved, like a whole day of no Xbox. What was the final outcome, Dan? Do you know like what caused it?
Yeah, they didn't give a root cause analysis. I think it's pending or whatever. But everyone did flip out. It was kind of interesting,
People
and for
flipped.
me, it's like a lot of the younger people in some of the comments I was seeing was like, "Oh, like this sucks," and I'm sure it'll be up later or whatever. But for me, I was having flashbacks to like the 2011 28-day outage of PlayStation Network. I'm like, these kids today don't know about PlayStation Network and how it was wiped out for a whole month. So of course I start twitching. I'm like, oh my God, it could be, who knows how long it is, like freaking out, I mean, it was only a couple hours, so everything was fine, but you never can tell if it's 8 hours or 28 days or it's crazy.
It would have been a perfect excuse to start building that PC, Dan. Just that long break, 28 days to get that PC built.
Yep, definitely.
Or, go outside. It would have been a really great opportunity for me to go outside.
That's very silly. That's silly.
Going outside is for people who don't have video games.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, speaking of video games, let's hop into the headlines and talk about them. First up, we have a story about Helldivers experiencing a numbers dip. Now, how bad is it? Because some people were flipping out. Some people don't seem too concerned. But this article comes from VG247. It says, as Helldivers 2 slides down to about 10% of its player number peak on Steam, those left are torn as to how Arrowhead should try to right the ship. They go on to say, Helldivers 2 has been a bit of a quiet period lately, relatively speaking, with Arrowhead largely busy focusing on bug fixes and putting out stuff at a bit slower of a cadence. Some players have been getting a bit tired of the same old thing, and with an unfortunate milestone, the games hit PC player base wise, having prompted some to debate whether things might be getting a bit too static. And it goes on to talk about the games and the players and stuff. It also talks about, its peak sitting at 458,000. And then previously their highest point in 24 hours was at 45,315. And just to put this in perspective, I did pull up the Steam database charts. This would still put the game somewhere, I mean, currently, if I'm looking at it right now, somewhere around the, I would say, 19th or 20th played game. So that's hardly an emergency. That's hardly the world is ending. But what do you guys think about this? What is this? What do you think?
I am a little, I mean, I'm stunned by the drop off, and I think I can tell you, I can pinpoint why. It's definitely all stemmed from that PSN fiasco. That did not help the numbers cause. I think that kind of poisoned the well for the PC player base, and a lot of people jumped ship. I know, I mean, it didn't really impact me. I could have done it. I think I was kind of on a hiatus from the game at that point anyway, but I think, you can just tell that, and you jump in now, you're like, this is a little static. I need something new. I need a new mode. I need something. I've done this for 50, 60 plus hours now. I mean, I would like to also know what the PlayStation numbers are, because this is just PC.
This is just Steam.
So I mean, PlayStation could be just fine, still be like, top dog but I do think the game is really hurting for like a big update. I know they had that patch, like a couple weeks ago, but like this is a telling thing. Like my buddies texted me this week and were like, "Do you want to play Helldivers?" And then everyone was like, "No, we're playing Fortnite." So we played Fortnite instead, and I think that's just. And Fortnite, they could learn something from Fortnite. Fortnite mixes it up all the time. They're changing things so much. I get into the game, it feels like a brand new game. So I think they might need to level up from 3 developers and maybe get a bigger team, and hopefully that will add something to the mix.
Molding.
They need to do pop culture licenses. You need to shoot aliens as like Nicki Minaj. That's it. I think that is the key. That's all I got.
Well, there must be an Independence Day, Will Smith shooting Welcome to Earth alien moments, and then you got something on your hands for sure.
Yeah. I want to see Megan Thee Stallion like with a big machine gun. No, put it out release it on Xbox. That'll goose the numbers. Like that'll goose it for a month maybe, and then I don't know what to do. I've never even played the game, so. I'm still waiting on it.
What do you think, Dan? Like, is it just?
I agree completely.
Yeah,
what you said.
I don't know.
I just don't think they have the development team in place to really mix things up. I do think it's still a great game, still has a great community, but the fact that they haven't even added a new enemy, and there's only been 2 since the launch. It just shows I don't think that they were prepared for this game to be as big as it was, and then they didn't staff up to fully support this thing. I'm not completely convinced that the war bond is the best way to monetize it moving forward. Props for them for trying something different, but I'd love for them to, get some investment and inject it with some new life by doing something completely different. So
yeah. And I would also like to say the robots aren't even fun in that game. I'm just going to be the first.
I agree.
At me.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
they're not even fun. Like it's
agree.
such a bad, those are just like bad experiences. There's nothing you can do. They're just too OP in my book.
So if either of you had a hand in creating a new enemy type, what would you choose? What would you want to see? Like zombies? I think zombies are way overdone, so that would not be my choice. But
really?
You got robots, you got like insect aliens. What's the next one?
I think you just go with aliens again, but you go with a different type. So you've got bug type, and then maybe there's some other, version of bugs that you can do that look completely different. And
maybe like something like the Flood, maybe like a Halo zombie-ish type of thing, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
It's hard to say, but they need to mix it up. Get a couple more people on that dev team.
Yep, and that is a good question. So I will continue to think about it. But talking about online games, I believe, Lord, you had a story about Grand Theft Auto Online and one of its changes and updates that was a little bit controversial.
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto Online released a major quality of life feature, which players, I guess, have been calling for since pretty much the beginning. And guess what? They locked it behind a paywall. So this comes from PC Gamer, Rich Stanton. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like get to the meat of this thing. So basically you can get an app in game that I'm assuming is probably linked to the cell phone in it. So this is what the app does. Lets you easily request vehicles, claim all outstanding business safe earnings, and replenish ammo in your on your in-game phone. Collecting cash from your businesses in GTA Online has always been a bit of a pain, and being able to do it from your phone instead is obviously a massive improvement. The catch, of course, is that it's only available to GTA Plus subscribers paying $8 a month.
That's bullshit.
I mean,
completely bullshit.
I'm just saying that to me is making me nervous for what could come to GTA 6. I don't know if this is just sort of the writing on the wall, but it obviously people were going nuts. Like the Reddit post was going off. People are just really pissed. And in my opinion, I'm like, okay, is this a big deal? Like that is the thing. And it's an old game. So like I don't know if they're just trying to squeeze every last penny out of the final stages of this game, or this is really the new Rockstar, money only.
I think this is a could be a potential harbinger of what's to come, and that's what has me very nervous. It's the principle of the thing that I think it's effed up, and this is the kind of bullshit that they pull in other games like Fallout 76, where they're like, "Oh, we'll increase your inventory, but only if you subscribe." And so these games are going online; they're being kind of fun, but then as they get older, they're introducing these gotcha mechanics and making it a pain for people who. So it's less fun and more annoying to play the game unless you're shelling out money. Fuck you.
And there are always mechanics that should have been in there from the very beginning.
Agreed.
So you get players that are playing it and being like, "Hey, it would be really nice to, I don't know, have all of my resources not weigh anything." And then they come in and they're like, "Hey, for $5, your resources, they won't weigh anything." And
Right?
it's bad. It is bad business, and it's totally a cash grab. And I guarantee you that the next GTA is going to be paywalled out the ass. It's
I
just
know,
the way
it
it's going
scares
to
me.
be.
But
That
here's
makes
the
me
part
really
that pisses me off, though. I already paid the money for the nightclub. I paid for the warehouse. I paid for all of this stuff. Why am I not getting then this app that collects all the money from my businesses because I have owned the business? So you have to pay on top of pay to even get to the. This sucks.
Yeah. I mean, $8 a month is a lot.
Yeah.
That's like you could buy that's like a streaming service.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe like I don't know. I guess like $3, like maybe. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
no
I
not.
bought the
subscription.
game 3 times. I
Yeah,
bought the
I
game
bought
for
the
like
game
3
times.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's just a bad like I think it just everybody and like I said, I mean all these companies copy each other. So this is just going to be something that continues to snowball. You see it in GTA Online and then all of a sudden you see it over here in some other game that comes out. Who knows? It's bad. It makes me really nervous. I'm hoping GTA 6 at least for the beginning part of the game doesn't have these sort of monetization tricks just to keep me hyped.
I agree. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, moving on though, I want to talk a little bit real quickly about NickMercs and his Twitch ban because I think this is a big deal and it's not being covered as much as I would like to see it covered. So I've kind of mixed together a story from IGN and GameSpot. It essentially sums up exactly what's going on, who NickMercs is as a streamer, and why this is important. Essentially, so the Kotaku article says controversial streamer NickMercs banned by Twitch after dropping transphobic slur. So, but you have to understand why this is important and the whole backstory. So, former pro Gears of War player Nick Kolcheff, NickMercs, received his first ever ban from Twitch after using a transphobic slur during a recent stream, commemorating another Pride Month with his anti-LGBTQ bullshit. Meaning, essentially, he's done this kind of shit before. NickMercs' Twitch channel is currently offline and flagged as, quote, temporarily unavailable due to a violation of Twitch's community guidelines and terms of service, end quote. Twitch guidelines state that the streaming platform does not permit behavior that is motivated by hatred, prejudice, and tolerance, including behavior that promotes or encourages discrimination, harassment, etc., and kind of goes on. So essentially what it was is, and I'm going to use the term because he uses it and I have to explain, but essentially he was using the word tranny in terms of an insult as a streamer and essentially got banned for that. But then once people called it out and said, essentially what he had done, once he received the ban, he kind of doubled down and double douched, if you will, and he tweeted, quote, banned for using the word tranny on Twitch, end quote. Apparently that is a derogatory term, he said. That's on me. Next time I'll use mental health disorder, end quote. So NickMercs is one of the most popular Call of Duty streamers in the world with a large social media presence of about 6.72 million followers on Twitch. And previously, in June 2023, Activision pulled NickMercs' Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone skin after the Faze Clan streamer posted an anti-LGBTQ tweet. So last year, during the Pride Month, the Faze Clan member criticized transgender rights protesters in Florida, tweeting, quote, "They should leave little children alone." It was a transphobic dog whistle with roots into the state's Don't Say Gay movement, which pushed to ban people from acknowledging the existence of LGBTQ people in schools. Activision then pulled Kolcheff's in-game skin from the Call of Duty as a result. While Kolcheff has claimed not to be a bigot in the past, he recently said on one of his Elden Ring streams that, quote, "There is no such thing as trans people," end quote. And just a week ago, he attacked Mr. Beast's contributor Ava Chris Tyson, who is a trans woman. She quote tweeted a video of Kolcheff defending Dr. Disrespect from newly surfaced allegations that he sexted a minor on June 22nd, and she pointed out the hypocrisy. She said, "Protect the kids crowd when someone is a loving parent versus when their boy is facing accusations," she wrote in a now deleted tweet. He fired back with, quote, "You should be ashamed of yourself, leaving behind your wife and child to play pretend. One day you'll wake up and realize what you've done." Mr. Beast supported Tyson, calling her a great parent, while others dunked on Kolcheff for being a disingenuous loser. Kolcheff later backpedaled his support of Dr. Disrespect when his fellow Call of Duty streamer admitted to exchanging inappropriate messages with an underage Twitch user. So for how long this Twitch ban lasts, we don't know. I'm sure it's temporary, and I'm sure he'll be back on there. But it is truly disappointing to see, people getting away with this sort of stuff and slander and not really getting any sort of I think the level of repercussions that they deserve. But that's just me. What do you guys think when you hear the story?
Malding.
I mean, it just doesn't surprise me. I have no idea who this guy is because I don't follow streamers at all. I mean, I know who Faze Clan is. I knew who Dr. Disrespect is only because of the news. I don't follow them or anything. I don't know. It just doesn't surprise me. I really don't have anything to say other than it's a huge bummer, and it seems to happen always. All this stuff always seems to happen on Gay Pride Month, where these bigots get really offended at this and mouth off, and then the corporations who claim to be pro LGBTQ rights and always are like, well, here's a slap on the wrist, and then they're back on a month later like nothing ever happened. So it's disappointing. It's just kind of the way the world is. That's kind of the way I feel.
I have watched NickMercs in the past. He was a huge, he did a lot of Call of Duty and a lot of Apex Legends for a while, but like I remember I remember him being, caught up in some controversy a little while back, but I didn't know the extent of it. Like, geez, this guy he was like going off. Like, that seems like a whole stint of issues. So I feel like in these Twitch bans, it's true. It's like, you don't know how long how long they're for. You don't know if he's still getting paid out by Twitch. You don't know if he's just, like, I mean, when is it going to just be like, okay, when is it enough? And like almost more so than just like a ban? What's the next step beside, above a ban pretty much? So I don't know.
I think they would have to kick him off permanently, but I don't think they want to lose him. They still want to make money off of him. And that's where it's, really shitty.
And also, I feel like I know if I remember correctly, he was having like a stint on Kick as well. So I don't know. I'm not sure like if these guys are just like purposely doing this stuff to like just get exposure. I mean, I don't know. Like,
no,
it's just,
I think they're genuinely bigots who
it's crazy. These guys are just like, opinion. I mean, I just don't know who, like I mean, let alone being somebody directly in the public eye and like being comfortable saying that stuff and just like painting yourself in that light. It's just crazy to me. It just seems like you're not good. Not a good look.
I agree. And I think it's not a good look for Twitch as well, because they're going to continue to associate themselves with him in the future. They're probably just sitting there counting their money, waiting for this to blow over so that they can put him back on and continue to make money. And it's sad because all of these companies that come out and support LGBT rights, their commercials are going to be the ones in between his streams. And it's like, okay, great. Yeah, you were supporting us for 1 month and now you're back to, supporting the bigot. And it's just, it is truly disappointing, and I wish there was more that we could do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to better gamer news. Molding, I know you had a story that was a little bit more fun.
This actually comes from CNN this time. I saw this and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Video gaming teenager to become the first Catholic millennial saint as Pope and Cardinals approve canonization. So, a video gaming Italian teenager will become the Catholic Church's first millennial saint after his cause for canonization was approved by church authorities. Carlo Acutis, I think that's how it's pronounced, who died from leukemia in 2006 at the age of 15, was renowned for using his computing skills to spread awareness of the Catholic faith and earn the nickname God's Influencer. I smile only because I think it's funny that they had a God's Influencer. I'm not smiling because of this poor kid who had leukemia. But to become a saint in the Catholic Church, you have to do 2 miracles. And the description of his miracles are kind of interesting. One was that his mother prayed for their son to get better, and the son got better, and that was one of the miracles he performed. I didn't quite understand it, but Acutis, who was born in London, put him squarely in the millennial generation cohort, is remembered by friends and family as enjoying playing video games such as Halo, Super Mario, and Pokemon. During his short life, he also set up a website documenting reports of miracles taking place in different parts of the world. Along with his computing and gaming, Acutis played the saxophone, enjoyed soccer, loved animals, and would make short, humorous films of his dogs. I don't know. I just thought it was a very interesting story because you do have to go through a lot of hoops to become a saint. And now we have a gaming saint. Saint Gamer? I don't know what his name's going to be.
I mean, that's come a long way. It's pretty impressive. Gaming's transcends all different types. It's even getting into the Catholic, canon at this point. So
that is exactly what I was going to say. I was super pumped to hear this because headlines from CNN and all the other news sources for such a long time were like, video gamer like murders someone, or video games cause violence and all this sort of stuff. And to hear like the word saint and video gamer in one sentence, I'm like, wow, that is huge change from the way things used to be. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I just thought it was a nice story.
Yeah,
that is.
Well, definitely after the NickMercs story, it's definitely a nicer, lighter one. Okay, but now back into the cesspool of crap. Lord, you have a story about Assassin's Creed fans being douchebags?
Oh, yeah. So Assassin's Creed fans are attempting to cancel the unreleased entry, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this is on...
And this is before it even has released. They're
it's
just based off the trailers and stuff. They're
based off the trailers and just what people have seen. And this is on Gaming Bible by Sam Cawley. So just like pretty much the meat of the story is, a subset of Assassin's Creed fans are still whining about the cultural accuracy of Assassin's Creed Shadows and are now petitioning for its cancellation. Ever since Assassin's Creed Shadows was first shown off, it's generated an enormous amount of hype, largely due to its taking place in feudal Japan, a location that fans have dreamed of for years. Unfortunately, while the majority are looking forward to Ubisoft's next open world adventure, there's an alarming number of other fans who are calling for its cancellation, calling out its historical accuracy. Most of the hate stems from one of the game's protagonists being a black samurai, a real life historical figure called Yasuke. As the petition started calling for Ubisoft to cancel the game entirely because it doesn't accurately depict what samurai were actually like. So,
in one of the Assassin's Creed games, you like fight Anubis. Like these games are not based in reality. It's just because they don't like black people. It's so crazy to me. Sorry.
I don't think these people are based in reality. That's the problem.
Right. I think that's the problem here.
I think it's awesome
a weird story.
that this black character is based on a real person, and so I can't wait to learn his story and see how, like, that is so unique and cool. And so I approached it with like, wow, that's really neat, and they're coming at it from a different angle.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just don't understand that. You know what I mean? That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like also good luck like having Ubisoft like they're like, okay, we're gonna cancel this game now.
Right.
Like these randos are calling for a petition, not like everything in the world gets petitioned to these days anyway. So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy to me that people are even like spending energy trying to get something like this,
I know. Agreed. When this isn't a problem, but I will tell you what's wrong. Ubisoft games need some changes. Not this. Ubisoft are the biggest checklist games, open world, same bullshit quests, fetch quests. They're so boring AF, and there's the same game over and over. Let's riot about that, people. Let's do a petition about that they need to change up their formula because we've played the same game like 50,000 times. That's what people should be rallying about, not racial shit. That's loserville.
I know. I am hoping this game is more like a Ghost of Tsushima-esque type of game. Did you guys play that? I mean, I'm hoping it's just
loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm hoping this is. I hope they just kind of like rip that game and just make it.
I don't think they could do it as good. Like Ghost of Tsushima is like, ooh, damn! I mean, they nailed it. Like they pretty much, it's like the stuff that they did is so cool. So I hope that they take it in a different direction. I'd like to see something different, but I know what I am going to see, and it's going to be the same Assassin's Creed.
I do not have faith in Ubisoft doing anything different.
No. Yeah, I don't either. I'm hoping they can at least like. I mean, I want to be excited for an Assassin's Creed game and be like, let's go. Like, but you're right. Like when it's the same thing, I just am like, okay, like,
and that's why the only Assassin's Creed game I might want to like let myself get excited for is Hexen. We haven't seen anything, but this is like witchcraft and spells. And I'm like, okay, well, they're taking this in a darker, like Salem.
That's cool.
Sort of like witch trial.
I didn't even know about this one. You got me on that one. Like, I'm going to be all about that.
Yes, this is a unique premise for an Assassin's Creed game where they could legitimately do some interesting stuff. So I'm not saying that the one that's currently being promoted or whatever isn't going to be unique and interesting. I haven't played it yet, but they do.
When is it out? Do we know? Do we know when it's scheduled? It's soon. It's this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Shadows or the Hexen?
Yeah, Shadows.
No, Shadows.
Shadows. Assassin's Creed will be released later on this year, November 12th for Xbox 5.
Yeah. There's a lot of, there's a shit ton of games happening at the end of the year. So
there are.
I can't wait to have them all.
I didn't play the last one, so I skipped one, and then this one I'll play.
Wait, when you say the last one, because I take offense to this, are you talking Mirage? Because that is nothing but glorified DLC.
Talking Mirage, yeah.
Okay, well, they got greedy. They spun off Basim's story into his own thing, and that is nothing but glorified DLC, and I refuse to pay for that because it's bullshit. That's why.
Take a stand, Dan.
How do you feel about it, though, Dan? I'd like to know.
Not too much. I'm too fired up after that story. I'm flipping out, man.
Like, I think it's true. If you can see that it's plain as day, just like a cash grab. I mean, that's like they're not even hiding anymore, especially with the GTA Online situation. It's like you can't feed into it. You just cannot, and that's just sort of. I'm with you.
To shift gears real quickly here when you're on the topic of cash grabs, because I agree, when it's obvious it's a cash grab, you should be out. Except for, did you guys see the new footage from the remastered version of Dead Rising that came out this week from the Capcom presentation.
Oh yeah, I saw.
No, I heard about it, but I didn't see it. No.
I thought it looked good. Did you not like
I
it?
thought so too. No, I liked it, and I
Oh.
hate myself for liking it. That's the thing
Yeah.
is I've owned the previous versions. There's no reason for me to buy this game one more time. It's on sale now, pre-order for $50, and it
Yeah.
is like a 16-year-old game that they keep putting a new coat of paint on and shoving it back out there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I was impressed with the graphics. Like I saw some side by sides, and I thought, okay, they did some
But I
work
want
to
a
it.
new Dead Rising. I don't want the same old shit, just prettier.
Is this the first one? The first one
Yes,
that is
part
being
one.
read? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they've done some quality of life stuff. They put in like quick saves, which the game, I mean, it had a horrible saving system before where
that
was
thing
rough.
I remember screwing me over quite a bit.
Oh,
like you had to go to this phone, right? Like or something. What was the save?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I think there were toilets before, but
it was so bad. I mean, I just remember like if you could lose a lot of time.
You definitely could.
Yeah.
It was
you
brutal.
could have to, yeah. Okay. Yep. No, I mean, I'm hoping it's good. And I mean, I think, man, anymore, it's just like, all right, if they nail a remaster like as good as Resident Evil 2, then you got me on the hook because I will play that, no doubt.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of playing games, let's move on to the debate topic. Lord, I think this one came from you.
Yeah. So this one is just I cooked this one up out of my own brain because I love picking your guys' brain because you guys are the experts and that's just what we're here for. And and so, which video game do you think you are most skilled at and why? And I just, I could kick it off, or if one of you two want to go. Yeah, well, I think because I'm always over here talking about COD and Overwatch, I feel like it's a tie between those two games. I feel like Overwatch or Call of Duty, when it was the pandemic, I played so much Modern Warfare 2019 that my skills on that PlayStation controller, I was doing bumper jumper tactical flipped and I was slide canceling and just going like I was going MLG on that game. And I feel like my skills in Call of Duty got like pretty honed when I was able to just sit for 2 years straight in the house, do nothing but play nothing but COD. I didn't have a daughter at that time. It was just like, let's play Call of Duty. And man, that game really started flowing for me. But right now, I would say if I were to go to my second game, playing as Mercy in Overwatch, I gotta say, that's my next piece. Yeah. I'm definitely a little mosquito definitely around the map as Mercy and just making sweet reses and just those are those are my two games for sure. How about you guys?
Molding.
So I was thinking, God, am I good at Call of Duty? And then I was thinking, well, I've played am I good at Overwatch? And I was like, well, I've played Overwatch for 8 years, and I am always trying to keep in gold rank. So no, I am not good at Overwatch. That is not. I like it. I enjoy playing it, but I am not good at it. And then I was thinking, man, am I good at any games? I play a lot of games, but I don't think I'm really good at any. And then I thought, wait a minute. When we get together as this make me sound like an asshole. When we get together we're doing like when we're having a party at your place, Dan, and we pull out the Jackbox TV games. Any game, I do feel like I'm pretty good at the Jackbox TV games, like coming up with quips, like coming up with dirty jokes to make my friends laugh, coming up with You Don't Know Jack is one of my favorite trivia games, and you have to really know how those questions are formed to get a leg up on your competition, because there's a certain way that he gives the questions out that they're kind of almost always a trick question. And if you know that format, you can always get a leg up on someone that hasn't played those games before. So I will say that the Jackbox TV games I am good at. That's what
I'll back you up on that one.
Yeah.
No, you always
I know.
very smart ass. That's for sure.
That's
There
for
you go.
sure.
I have a very smart ass, and that usually makes me.
I thought it was huge
usually gets
asshole.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
exactly.
huge
That's
asshole.
true.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
mine.
that's awesome. Dan, what are you thinking?
You sent me into a midlife crisis or whatever with this question too, because I was like, holy shit, I've been
Did
playing
he
video
ask
games
this
forever.
question of you a few years ago? Is that what sent you a midlife crisis? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's just that like I was like, am I good at any of these games? No. And that is precisely the reason that I quit playing DVD. I do finish all the games. I do like to play them on hard, and Molding, I know you play everything on hard because we talk about that all the time. I used to be really good at Tina and DOA 5. So much so that when I lived in West Hollywood, there was a bar called Mickey's, and they would have competitions, and I would go there and I would impress all the dudes with my skills. Yeah,
That's
you know,
awesome.
I had game.
My
And
invite
then
to those nights must have got lost in the mail again.
and then I think I've always been pretty good at platformers. That's why I love Mario. Like I get to every level, and then I always get to the ultimate crap. And then of course I do the new Lucky's Tale. I was still just always grew up on platformers. I loved the shit out of Mario Maker 2 and would play the really hard levels and stuff on there. But lately I have been wrecking fools, and this may be not a brag, so that's what I put out there. With Switch Sports, they have this volleyball, and I am absolutely obsessed with their volleyball system. Yes, it's motion like stuff controls, and so they're not that accurate, but I can wipe people out with this slide maneuver that they've added. Like the whole game's fine, but volleyball, oh man, it's online, it's viciously competitive, and I plan on wiping people out and making kids cry this weekend because it's going to be like 3 times XP for the holiday. I'm already licking my chops. So
They don't know what's coming. That's awesome.
I'm
So-
gonna ruin some lives. Is
Wait.
all I'm saying.
Which Switch one? The new Switch one? I haven't
Yeah.
even got my hands on it. Is it good? It's fun?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, it's the bowling's a little wonky, but
Okay.
the soccer's okay. Like, and they just announced in the most recent Nintendo Direct that they're adding a basketball, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know that existed." And I'm like, "People, you're missing out. Fucking
Yeah.
volleyball is where it's at, and I'm an animal, and I will wreck fools."
That's awesome. We'll have to play that IRL. Can we do that? Can we do on the same screen, or no? Does it have to be online?
Yeah. No, it handles at least two fools locally as long as you have
Hell
like an online account, and you unlock. There's so many unlocks for winning and stuff like that. So that's why I've got so.
I'm pumped. I want to see this. I want to see you in action.
Oh, for sure. We'll do it Friday when you're over here.
Sweet.
We will ruin lives.
Well, thank you for, letting me know, because I think I know, I hear you guys talk. I know you guys are good at video games. So I'm just going to say that over here, just outside looking in. You're like, Malding's over here slaying it in Diablo and Elden Ring. And Dan, I know you're the platform master. So I got to give it up to you guys.
Well, thank you. On that note, we need to start wrapping things up. Please make sure you subscribe to our socials, and on YouTube, hit that like button. And on behalf of our Good Playing crew, Matt Lord, Matt Molding, and myself, Dan Whitehill, have a great weekend. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.